Hello, everybody, fellow fanatics out there. Welcome into the Dependent Fanatic channel where we are going to be showing you a little kitten. Oh, look at him. Look at him. 5 of those guys running around. Hopefully they don't disturb me too much, but here we go. A preview for Michigan football. I do this for every game, and it's number 20 Michigan this week. They are 3-1, taking on Wisconsin, a 2-2 Badger team, on Big Noon Kickoff on Fox. In this preview, I'm going to start with Wisconsin's offense versus Michigan's defense and kind of get an idea of their players and what they can do, and then vice versa, Michigan's offense versus Wisconsin's defense, and then there will be a prediction at the end of the video, so stay tuned, people. Here we go. We're going to start with some stats here. Wisconsin's offense is getting 21 points per game. That's it. They're getting 206 passing yards per game, though, and 118 rushing yards per game. Michigan's defense, on the other hand, is giving up 18 points per game, so a 3-point difference there. 214 passing yards per game, so they're averaging right about the same. And then Michigan is only giving up 76 rushing yards per game, so way under what Wisconsin is normally getting versus the teams they've played in their first 4 games. At quarterback, Billy Edwards Jr. is a game-time decision, according to the coach, with an aggravated knee injury. Backup Danny O'Neal has been 60 of 85, 71% for 640 yards, 5 touchdowns, but 5 interceptions. And after that huge hit late in the game, in their last game, he might be a game-time decision as well. I tried to research that. No one's saying anything, though, of course. So, maybe without their 2 best quarterbacks, but I think Danny O'Neal is going to play. All right. Running back Dylan Jones has 35 carries for Wisconsin, 154 yards. That's only a 4.4 average, and he only has 1 rushing touchdown. Running back Darian Dupree has 35 carries as well, 144 yards, a 4.1 average. At tight end, they have Lance Mason. He has 14 grabs on the season, 177 yards. That's a 12.6 average, and he has 2 receiving touchdowns. Wide receiver Vinny Anthony II has 12 catches, 161 yards, 13.4 average per reception, and 1 touchdown. Wide receiver Trek Kekahuna has 11 catches for 123 yards. That's an 11.2 average. And wide receiver Jaden Ballard has 7 catches for 150 yards. That's a 21.4 average per reception, and he has 2 receiving touchdowns. So they have some pretty good weapons here. All that behind an offensive line that is, which offensive line doesn't struggle nowadays, including Michigan's, but they're capable. They're all big. It's Wisconsin. They got those big guys up front, always. Let's talk about Michigan's defense now, and we'll talk about the D-line first. Man, is there depth on this defense for Michigan. Defensive tackle Trey Williams has 5 tackles and 1 pass breakup. Trey Pierce, defensive tackle, has 10 tackles in the interior. Defensive tackle Rayshawn Benny has 9 tackles and 1.5 sacks. Now, Jayshawn Barham was linebacker. Now he's mostly playing defensive end. He has 16 tackles and 3 sacks since he moved over to defensive end. Speaking of edge players, there are 4 more here that get a regular rotation. Dominic Nichols, 7 tackles, 1 sack. Derek Moore, 7 tackles, 1.5 sacks. Cameron Brandt, 7 tackles, a half a sack. And TJ Guy, 6 tackles and 1 interception. At linebacker, Michigan's got 4 really good ones. Ernest Hausman, 29 tackles and a sack. Jimmy Rolder, 21 tackles, 1 sack, and a pass breakup. Cole Sullivan, the youngster, coming in, 19 tackles, 2 sacks, and a fumble recovery. And Troy Bowles is in there from time to time. 7 tackles, 1 sack, and a forced fumble. In the secondary, Michigan is loaded as well. Youngsters are stepping up. Brandon Hillman at safety has 20 tackles, 1 pass breakup, and an interception. Cornerback Jaden Sanders is a shining light for this defense. 16 tackles and a pass breakup. Nickelback TJ Metcalf had 15 tackles, 1 pass breakup, and 1 interception on this young season. Cornerback Jair Hill has 15 tackles, 1 sack, and 3 pass breakups. Safety Mason Curtis has 10 tackles and a pass breakup. And safety Jaden Mangum, the Michigan State transfer, is finally seeing some time on the field. 8 tackles and 2 pass breakups. And then another youngster, cornerback Elijah Dotson, has 6 tackles and an interception. So, what does Michigan's offense have versus Wisconsin's defense? Michigan's offense is getting 35 points per game, 183 passing yards per game, and 254 rushing yards per game. Wisconsin's defense is giving up 19 points per game is all, 235 passing yards per game, which is a lot more than what we are getting. But man, 50 rushing yards a game is all that they are allowing. 204 yards less than what we average. Something is going to have to give there on this side of the ball. I think that is going to be the key in this game. Quarterback Bryce Underwood for Michigan is 58 of 102. That's only 57%, but you've got to remember these receivers. I think we have 2 or 3 receivers that are in the tops in drops in the nation. He has 733 passing yards, though. Almost 1,000. Michigan barely got 1,000 all last season. That is exciting for Michigan fans. He has 2 touchdowns passing to 1 interception. He also has 22 rushes for 169 yards. That's a 7.7 average per scamper, and he has 3 rushing touchdowns. Running back Justice Haynes, the Heisman hopeful on this team, has 66 carries for 537 yards. That's an 8.1 average, and he has 6 rushing touchdowns. Jordan Marshall is the great complement to Justice Haynes, 36 carries, 189 yards, a 5.3 average, and 3 rushing touchdowns. In the receiving room, Marlon Klein is the tight end and great blocker for Michigan. 9 catches for 122 yards. That's a 13.6 average. And he has a receiving touchdown. Donovan McCulley is the wide receiver, the 6'5" target on the outside. 13 catches, 197 yards, and a 15.2 average. Samaj Morgan, the wide receiver, has 11 catches for 143 yards. That's a 13-yard average and 1 receiving touchdown. And then Channing Goodwin has 7 catches for 112. Could have had a whole lot more. Get your hands on the ball and hold tight, man. 16-yard average per reception for that guy, though. Let's talk about Michigan's defensive roster here. Wisconsin's defensive line looks pretty weak statistically, with only 1 sack and 3 tackles is the most out of anyone on the line. They must have a bunch of people on the line and in the box to hold people to 50 rushing yards per game, right? That could be scary. Bryce is going to have to handle that pressure coming from every which way. I'm sure they disguise it. But it could help him in the pass game as well. If everyone is up, let's take some shots. Let's open it up. Linebackers for Wisconsin. Christian Allegro has 19 tackles and 2 sacks. Tackett Curtis has 14 tackles, 1 sack, and a pass breakup. Mason Rager has 9 tackles and 2 sacks. This is where all their sack production comes from, is the linebacking core. Sebastian Cheeks has 8 tackles and a sack, and Tyrese Fearbry has 7 tackles and a sack of his own. In the defensive back room, they have cornerback Ricardo Hallman with 9 tackles. Safety Preston Zachman has 7 tackles and 2 interceptions. Cornerback Deone Hill has 7 tackles. Gamir Latimer has 7 tackles. Austin Brown, the safety, has 5 tackles and 2 pass breakups. And cornerback Emilio Agard has 5 tackles, 1 pass breakup, and 1 interception. So what does this all mean? Well, I'll tell you. I don't see how Wisconsin moves the ball offensively. I really don't versus this Wink Martindale defense. They can probably muster up 13 points. Bryce in the pass attack will need to show what they can do to open up the running attack, which means no drops. When the ball hits your hands, catch it, please, wide receivers. Michigan will do enough in this game to remain balanced offensively. I really believe that. But other than the kicker, Dominic Zvada, I am very concerned about Michigan's special teams going forward. It's been putrid. The punt returning, coverage, everything about the special teams, the punting has been terrible. But I don't think that will cost Michigan this game, and Michigan will win 31-13, pulling away late with a big Justice Haynes touchdown run like he does in every game. So there you go. There is my prediction for the Michigan Wolverines taking on the Wisconsin Badgers. 31-13. What's your prediction? Let me know in the comments below. Please like the video if you did. Subscribe if you have not. Thank you to all of you who have. And go blue. Have a great day, everybody.